guys, welcome to another episode of the Retail Perch. And here we are coming up, hopefully towards the end of winter. I think the little groundhog in Pennsylvania said 6 more weeks of winter, Gary. And I know you're facing some of it.
Yes, I think they're calling for another 6 inches or more of snow tomorrow here.
Well, you're getting our share. I'm telling you, New Jersey, we've gotten barely a 1/4 inch of snow so far this season. So I'm not complaining. But of course, it's also been an exciting year with some terrific episodes of the Retail Perch, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far as much as we have talking to the guests. And today we have somebody else from across the seas, all the way from Romania. Valentin Radu is joining us, and he's talking about some very pertinent stuff. I think, we talk about acquisition and acquiring new customers. But Valentin here is going to talk to us about how to retain customers, how to grow your business through retention. So company's name is Omniconvert, and here we are with Valentin. Valentin, you want to introduce yourself and say hi to our guests?
Of course. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm a serial entrepreneur from Bucharest, Romania. I'm an ex-poor kid, so thanks to the struggles and to the misery, I've got to entrepreneurship. I've sold 2 companies. I failed completely at one. I've got back to my father with my tail between the legs, and thanks to those moments, I've restarted the entrepreneurial journey. In the last 10 years, I founded Omniconvert. It's my second company that I founded completely without any partners. So we focused initially on helping e-commerce companies grow because my third company, I've made an exit after we made it to having 300,000 customers. And thanks to those learnings, I've built a software as a service. And in the last 4 years, we've pivoted and shifted our attention towards customer value optimization. And we've built a software, we've built an online academy. I'm writing a book about this methodology of improving customer lifetime value, which I think it's an undervalued strategy because, of course, it's not as sexy as it seems to brag as a CMO, like we've acquired 20,000 new customers. Nobody wants to say we've retained 28% of our customers.
Yeah, well, Gary and I very much identify with understanding the value of retaining and growing existing customers. Because, I think in general, I don't know what the metric is, but for every loyal customer that you lose, you probably need to acquire 15 or 20 more and to replace them. So, yeah, in terms of return on investment, it's far more valuable to retain an existing customer than it is to acquire them, right?
Exactly. We have the luxury of looking at the data. We have around 3,000 retail companies pushing data to our system, and those figures are varying a lot. So there are companies where one of their best customers is as valuable as more than 200 normal average customers. Because
wow.
When you cut the customer acquisition cost from the equation, and when you look at the margin that you're generating, the real money, the real profitability per customer starts showing up after the 3rd, 4th, or 5th order. So when you compare the average customers which are placing only one single order, cutting off the customer acquisition cost, and when you look at their margin and their customer lifetime value, then you have some aha moments. And at those moments, retail leaders start to have their wheels turning on and reshift their focus towards what really matters.
So Valentin, looking across all your customers, are you focused on any particular retail segments or verticals, or is it all types of retailers?
Yeah, I might say that there are all types of retailers. However, most of the ones which are really determined to improve customer lifetime value and leverage this process of customer value optimization are the ones where the purchase frequency is higher. So the faster the products are being sold, are the more interest of the company to improve this type of metrics. However, we do have companies which are selling furniture, or even mattresses. We work with a company called Tempur Sealy, which basically their purchase cycle is more than 5 years.
Yeah.
However, with customer value optimization, is not only about increasing the customer lifetime value, it's also about understanding, hey, who are our best customers, the top spenders, so that we acquire more like them, and how can we improve their experience so that we can get the network effect through them. So there are other perks of focusing on having customers that are extracting more value from you. And I think, and maybe we should be addressing this from our early in our conversation, customer value optimization, it's about optimizing the value that the customers are getting, not sucking more value from the customers, because basically that's the virtuous cycle. If you have customers which are really, really happy and aware that they get a lot of value from you, they will start buying again, they will continue to buy from you, and they will become ambassadors to generate more business to your company.
Yeah. So completely agree with that philosophy. That makes all the sense in the world. And as you call out, sadly, too many companies, too many retailers really don't understand that. So I'm glad you're having success that way.
Right. In fact, I was listening to a Harvard professor a year or so ago who was talking about loyalty, and you really generate loyalty when the value that you're providing to your customer is much higher than the cost that they're paying for your service, right? So somehow there has to be a balance in the favor of the retailer to realize that they're providing more value. I completely agree.
Right.
So what's the approach? So what got you down this path of saying, hey, this is really important?
Yeah, so the initial aha moment I had when I was struggling, because I think the struggle is the main engine of progress. Let's say if you're not struggling enough, and if it's not itching you enough, you will not invest the energy to make progress there. So I was mocked by my friends, which were working at multinationals. I was an entrepreneur, but I wasn't very profitable, even though we had a lot of revenue. At some point, we had like 10 million euro in annual turnover, but I couldn't, I was struggling with the cash flow. So I was always not going in the same vacations as they do and whatever. So thanks to that struggle, because I remember I've said no more, I have to make this company very profitable. So I've dived into the data, and we were selling online car insurance. Like there are many aggregators, right? So we were comparing insurances from the different insurance companies, and I was looking at our best customers, and I realized, you know what, the truck drivers are a very, very important segment of our customers, even though they are not too many of them. And then I realized that there are also the luxury car owners, which are also outstanding. And we've seen this Pareto principle, let's say, that in our case, we've got something like 20-something% of our customers generating 60% of our margin. And then we've shifted our attention towards, I don't know, advertising to the right places. And that was the initial seed when I've looked at the customer lifetime value and understood the mechanics of growth. After that, and it took me something like 6-7 years, I had the privilege of working and trying to save a retailer which was very well funded, but they were losing money. I mean, they were doubling in size, but their profitability was going down. And I looked over their business, and I've applied the RFM segmentation model. RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value. So when I've applied this model, I've realized that their business, their customer portfolio wasn't that healthy. So they were churning a lot of customers, and they were basically just postponing the doom. You know, they kept on acquiring customers that never come back. Their customer retention was going down. Their lifetime value was going down. Their NPS was lower than 48 or something like that. And those were the signs of a company going down, even though in their financials, they seemed to be okay, because they were looking at the revenue as the main driver of growth. And that's when I've realized, you know what, this lifetime value is so freaking important, and we need to, I need to learn more about it. So I've started to apply this model to our customers. At that moment, we were selling our main product was a conversion rate optimization product, which was only about the website and digital, whatever, ignoring completely the omnichannel, ignoring the customers which were buying from bricks and mortar. So at that moment, I've said, this is fantastic. And I've started to apply this method and fine tune it. And in the meantime, I'm writing a book about it. I'm getting my hands dirty all the time. So I always keep a customer that I work directly with, because I want to fine tune the process. And my vision is that hopefully in 5 to 10 years from now, companies will stop optimizing just the website or just the offline experience. Let's say they will start to look holistically at the entire customer journey, and they will come to the conclusion that it's the best to optimize for customer lifetime value than looking at shallow metrics, which are not that comprehensive.
Well, you're preaching to the choir here. So
Yeah.
So is what you do, is it more of like a consulting or professional services, or is it some type of software as a service type model?
Yeah, we are doing both. So at this moment, we have the software, which is the backbone of our business. So we have a software which is automatically building the RFM segmentation, is doing the generating the insights. It's empowering the companies to orchestrate different customer journeys across different other engagement tools like email, SMS, in real life, at their points of presence, a different customer experience. And also we are consulting for big, large companies that are in this process of improving the customer lifetime value. However, in the last 2 years, we couldn't do it anymore because we got a limited scalability, let's say. We can't hire too many Romanian people and even people, because we've started to hire people from abroad, but it's very hard to grow with a professional service model. So that's why we are now teaming up with other agencies. We've built the academy, and now they are getting certified. There is this training of 18 hours. I've teamed up with Wharton Business School professors, with Harvard Business School professor, with practitioners, and we are all built a training program, and now we are teaching other agencies or internal teams about how to do this type of process.
Oh.
wow, that's pretty incredible. So what are some of the, can you share whatever you can share publicly, some stories of where this change,
best practices or any stories that stand out?
Yeah, of course, I have plenty of them. I will select one of them, which is which sticks to my mind. We were working with the company, a fashion retailer, a very significant fashion retailer from Central and Eastern Europe. They had plenty of points of presence. Their management team were more relying towards the retail business. E-commerce was seen like maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. However, they made something like 18 to 20% of their revenue. So they were pretty good on the online channel. And at some point, they've started to lose customers. So their growth stalled. They got more competition, and they thought that the main way to fight their competitors was through TV advertising. And we were working with them at that moment. I mean, they were using our solution. I closely work with their CMO, and he was a bit pissed off due to the other leadership decision, the commercial director, the retail director. There are these internal forces, that are always, not always, but most of the time they are disagreeing, because if they are all agreeing, maybe some of them are extra there. They shouldn't be there, because I do think that conflict is beneficial. So after this debate, we've got to apply this RFM segmentation, because we thought, okay, but let's see how you are losing market share. Where is this coming from. So we've applied the RFM segmentation methodology, and we've discovered, thanks to that, it wasn't too much about their competitors, but it was about their new private label that they've launched, and that they've seen as it's fantastic, because they've seen that they had a significant a number of sales coming from their new brands, and those were very, very profitable for them, because it was easier to sell their private labels against, I don't know, Clark's or whatever, insert other shoes brands here that are well known. So, however, when we looked at this data, we've identified a pattern that those brands were basically toxic, because their best customers stopped buying again from them due to the fact that the quality of those brands weren't where they've let's say trained their audience to be, their customer base to be. So basically, those type of assumptions were very harmful for the business, because at that moment they realized that they shouldn't be following only the financial model when you look at the number of the percentage of the share of sales from a specific brand, but you should also look at how the lifetime value is being affected if the last purchase is coming from a certain brand or the first purchase is coming from a certain brand. Because for instance, and I can disclose this, Nike had one of the best stickiness. It was outstanding. The difference were incredible if you compare to those brands, their private label against Nike. And that happened due to the quality, brand perception, whatever. So even though their margin wasn't as big as it was to Nike, when they looked at the subsequent purchases, it was clear that they should be promoting Nike and not their own private label. And those type of stories are repeated, because it's not a single example.
Right.
Interesting. So what you're saying is the starting purchase of a customer impacts their lifetime value to that retailer because of the experience and the quality of the product that they're buying. Right.
That's right. Yeah. And few companies are monitoring this. I mean, even though it's kind of common sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it's a different way to look at the retail business, right? Our experience, retailers are very much focused on the products they're selling. They believe, their sales, dollars, euros, etc., are coming from the product sitting on the shelf, not from the shopper, right? But we know that it's really the customer.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, that's fascinating. So what's the I guess the vision at Omniconvert now? I mean, you've been at it for a little bit, and I'm sure you have, I can kind of sense your zeal and excitement about this entire space. So I'm sure you're full of ideas about where you can continue on with this venture.
Yeah, my vision is that we become one of the, let's say, pioneers in this new movement towards customer centricity, and we are the provider of the technology and the methodology. We want to build some centers of excellence across the world. We've already teamed up with some partners. Tomorrow we have our largest event in Australia with one of our partner agencies there. So basically our model is to team up with the data-driven service providers to provide them with the technology and with knowledge, and help companies thrive by caring about their customers, because you nowadays, when it's so expensive to acquire customers, you can't let them be a one-time buyer, like a one-night stander, So,
right. So I know you mentioned, this is probably more effective in retail situations where there's higher frequency of purchase. Yeah. Have you applied this to supermarket, grocery?
Yeah, there is it's such an untapped potential there, because for instance, we've seen that let's say when you buy, I don't know, orange juice, you have a cadence, you have a purchase frequency, and in retail, this type of replenishment is being applied from a B2B perspective. So when you, let's say, do your stock, and when you look at the stock rotation and all those things, you do it as a retailer when it comes to your suppliers, but you don't do it when it comes to your customers. And nobody, I have yet to search, because we've had a lot of conversation, but I haven't found a single online grocery retailer or grocery retailer which is leveraging this up. Because when you need, I don't know, toilet paper, know when you need shampoo, and those products have a cadence, but nobody is applying the data models so that it's making our lives as consumers easier because they know how we are consuming. After 3-4 orders, you should know that I'm using I don't know, I need butter every 4 weeks, and I need this every 2 weeks. And this type of replenishment is still so friction. I mean, you have those apps and they think that they are helping you out, but they aren't. I mean, it's all about replenishment, and you can do it automatically way better than you figuring out, oh yeah, I need to buy, I'm out of milk, or I'm out of XYZ.
Right.
And that's a simple way to be customer centric and to leverage the data that you have at your disposal based on the consumer behavior.
Yeah, Valentin, you probably should check out our website.
For sure.
It's exactly what we do. So great. That's terrific. No, but keeping the focus here. But do you guys have any grocery retail customers that you worked with?
Yeah, we have. We do have. We work with a few of them. The latest one is one of the largest retail chains here in Europe called Auchan. They use our technology to apply this RFM segmentation and to make this type of decisions towards how they should be pushing different products thanks to the lifetime value, the potential lifetime value that they have. Because it's when you have 60,000 SKUs, what do you push further? What kind of brands? And for instance, there's also another layer of intelligence, because the retailers are coming from a different story. As you've said, Gary, they are used to put products on the shelf and magically they are vanishing and they end up with some money in their accounts. But now they have this intelligence that they are not leveraging properly, because they don't know, they are not aware that their online channel is like a, let's say, way to analyze the consumer behavior, which is statistically significant. So they can extract a lot of insights. For instance,
right.
They have which brand is having the best stickiness, which of our 50 brands of beer, let's say, or whatever. And if you add this type, we call this methodology the 4 data layers product optimization framework. So basically you have the sales layer, you have the consumer behavior layer, you have the customer experience layer, and you have the demand layer. So if you look at your products, at other things, despite the fact that they are selling or not, if you look at their share of sales from this category, but if you also look at the NPS of the customers that bought those products, if you also look at the lifetime value of those customers, and if you also look at the conversion rate from the customers that saw this product and ended up buying it, then you have these 4 different layers and you end up identifying some hidden gems in your own inventory. And that's how you can prioritize those products. So these types of things are the ones that we are doing right now with in grocery retail.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Yeah, go ahead.
Is most of your work with marketing departments at these retailers, or do you interact with top management, the executive team? One of the things we've seen successful is bringing customer-based metrics, retention rates, et cetera, into management reporting, financial reporting, and so on. Have you done any of that?
Yeah. That's what we do. So when we work with the company, we usually work with their management team. Our way to let them know about the money that they leave on the table is to do a workshop with them so that they get to this internal alignment. So we usually work with their senior leadership, and thanks to our work, for instance, we have a partner, we work with KPMG, for instance, right? And they come up and they do the customer journey mapping, and we come up with the technology, and together we identify some hidden opportunities that they are not addressing. And once we install our technology, which is generating all this intelligence, we call it the optimization of their reporting, because most of the retailers are, at least that's what we've met so far, are having all sorts of reports. You know, there are a lot of people that are just building reports that nobody acts on. So we are doing this pyramid, this customer-centric pyramidal reporting, and we begin with the end in mind, and then we got to certain departments, because, for instance, lifetime value, it's the KPI of the CEO, because the entire organization is affecting the lifetime value. You can't say that, I don't know, the marketing is responsible, or the merchandising, or whatever. So everyone is contributing, but if they don't have this type of internal alignment, they have this, sometimes they even have disconnected KPIs. You know, if someone is getting to their target, the other another department is going to struggle, and vice versa.
Right, right. And so a holistic view of what impacts a customer's loyalty to that brand. Really, that's you know, including your in-store experience to digital experiences to customer service, or even, you know, how your in-store personnel are trained to interact with the customers. It all has an impact, right? So
For instance, another story, if you want to share something really funny, we've done a US company. It was a scale up, so they were like 250 in that at that moment, and they were doing the fulfillment themselves. And we, with our tool, we analyze the NPS and we come up with the anomalies. For instance, we don't look only at the NPS as an average, because that's stupid. You need to look at the NPS by, I don't know, product, category, location. And we have this focus on the NPS by employee or by role. For instance, if they sell online, what's the NPS for pickers? And if they do it in real life, what's the NPS for certain stores, for certain locations? And we've identified something really funny, that during the night shift, their NPS, so all the orders which were fulfilled during the night shift had an NPS which was 40% lower. And what they've ended up realizing is that their employees from a warehouse, from one of their two warehouses, they were simply partying, you know. So they didn't care. They drank beers, you know, and because it was incredibly low, you know. So that's how they've discovered that. That's why their sizes weren't the correct ones. They were simply, you know,
right. That's interesting. Yeah. So I think what you're saying in summary is that some of this data can point you to where the problems may be and how you can fix those problems, right? And I mean, the data is not going to fix your business. It's going to essentially give you clues as to where to look to fix those problems. Right?
And many times there are many companies barking at the wrong tree. For instance, they try to push the pedal on the marketing side of things, because that's how they think they grow, but they have some hiccups on their customer journey, or they have some low suboptimal product that they are pushing to their customers. And it's not like accelerating the marketing, you're going to fix a broken product, right?
That's true. That's very true. And Gary, that's some of my concern that I have off late with all this interest in retail media networks. It's so much about driving traffic and not so much about optimizing customer experience and taking care of your customer. And I mean, both are important, clearly. You have to keep acquiring customers. There's always going to be an attrition rate to your customer, your set of customers. So people are going to move, people are going to change jobs, they're going to leave. So you're going to have some natural attrition that's going to occur in your business. But I guess you have to constantly keep acquiring new customers for that purpose. But the wealth, like you've always said, Gary, in all the books that you've written, is really caring about your most valuable customer and figuring out how to retain and grow them, right?
Yeah,
So
no, that's where it is. And you know, to your point on the retail media networks, I guess I could be even a bit more cynical and say to the retailers, it's simply about the checks they can collect from the advertisers.
right.
Right? You know,
And
just
adding true value to your
what
customers.
happens after that, nah, don't really care.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I know. We might get called out for that, but it's the truth, right? The
Yeah.
truth of the matter is that your business really depends on how your customers feel about shopping at your locations. And if they don't feel they're getting value, it doesn't matter what else you do, they're going to switch.
No,
And
that's
paying
right.
attention to them is critical. And it looks like, Valentin, you kind of hit the nail on the head here about, this is the key focus of retail. The reason we go to shop in a place is because A, we get what we want, and B, we enjoy the experience, right?
Yeah, we feel better.
Yeah, and you can really get what you want at any store, but the differentiating fact then becomes the experience.
That's right. That's the latest arena, because there are these mindless buying habits. You go there, and it's not like you are buying. You are not doing a conscious decision to buy this yogurt. You mindlessly pick
Right.
it up and put it in your cart. But what's different is this something too annoying to do so that I'm going to switch, or
Right.
is the experience so cool that I'm gonna tell my friends, hey, buy from this company or the other. And now
Right.
there is another thing, if we focus a bit on the grocery retail, for instance, because I think there is the same trend in the US as well. So we have these apps which are so making the purchase so easy that the retailers now are being seen as warehouses, and they get all the, let's say, if something is not working through these apps, which are facilitating the getting our groceries at home, if something goes wrong in the mind of the consumer, the retailer is to blame. And if something goes good, something goes well, then the app is the one to take credit for it. And that's
Right.
how the retailer becomes some warehouses where they stock products, and they lose the connection with their customers.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
So I think, Valentin, if we had known you a couple of years ago, you'd have probably been a host on this podcast with us, because I think our thinking just there's just a lot of alignment here in terms of our thinking. But look at that, we're already at 37 minutes. So it's been a terrific conversation, though, and we should definitely stay in touch, because I'd love to see your progress.
Yes.
Maybe come back to us in a few months and tell us a few more exciting stories. And I think most of our listeners understand the value of customer centricity. It's just that I think maybe some of them try to figure out how to get there, the path to getting to customers, because it's also about changing the DNA of your organization, the culture, the approach, the language, all of that has to change for your whole organization to really shift. It's not just having data, right? And that's sometimes maybe the bigger struggle is to get the culture right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
very much.
Anyway, it's been a terrific conversation. Anything you would like to add here, Valentin, that will help our customers maybe find you, or if they need to look you up?
Yes, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Valentin Radu. I'm also writing a book. I'm going to send you the link in case you want to read the first chapter. Hopefully it's going to be published at the end of May this year. And for anyone who wants to get more deeper into this methodology, because we haven't got enough time to tell you all the stories and how it works, you can check out our CVO Academy. There is a free program over there, and for the ones that want to get really deep into it, they can get the certification. And anyways, if there is anyone who thinks that I can be of help to him or her, find me on LinkedIn. That's how I've learned all these things. So I'm a curious person, and I do believe that we need to help each other more. And I've been blessed to get help from, I don't know, professors from Wharton Business School, and people that are so open to do this type of conversation, and I'm really glad that I had this conversation with you as well. It's let's say refreshing to see that I'm not alone. You know, it's not like I'm alone and inventing or finding out these things. It's been really fun talking with you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, you know what? I know you're in Romania, but I'm sure we can manage postage. But if you do send us your mailing address, we'll send you a coffee mug with the Retail Perch logo on it. So that you can keep us as a memento for being on this. But thank you so much. It's been fun chatting. Gary, anything to?
No, it's been a great conversation. You're certainly not alone in what you are preaching and the message you are delivering. We are in full agreement with you. So really enjoyed having you on. We'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, and again, thanks to all the listeners. I hope you guys have been enjoying these podcasts. You know, it's been another great episode. Next week we're off to the NGA. We're going to be in Vegas with the National Grocers Association. I'm sure we'll have some takeaways we come back from that, Gary. Can't wait to.
Yes, or we should even maybe try to do a remote perch session.
Yeah, we should probably try to do that. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, thanks, guys, and stay safe. And again, thanks, Valentin, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Make sure to join us every Monday and connect with us at the Retail Perch on Instagram and Facebook.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at theretailperch@birdseye.com.
Until next time, this is Shekar.
And this is Gary signing off.